Welcome, everybody. I am excited to be here with you to talk about metabolic health. And you'll see on this first slide, there is a class handout. You may want to grab that link and go print it or just have it open while you're following along. If you're watching the recording, I'd recommend pausing. If you have access to a printer, print it. If you don't, no big deal. You can just take notes in your notes app if you're on your phone or on a notebook or something like that. But there are some good points on the handout that you may like to have for future reference. So I'll have that link up on a couple of other slides as well. But let's jump right in. I am Crystal Garvin, and I am excited to share with you about metabolism and metabolic health. And I'll share a little bit more of my journey along the way. But I want to jump right in and just share what this is about. So simply put, metabolism is the process your body uses to convert what you eat and what you drink into energy. Metabolism influences your energy, of course, but also your weight, your body composition, your sleep, cognitive performance, mental clarity, all types of things going on in your body. Your hormone balance is definitely affected by your metabolic health. And only 6.8% of Americans have optimal cardiometabolic health. So that's a really low number. That means a little over 93% of us, 13 out of every 14 people, are struggling in this area. It's a huge need in our country, but not just in our country, in much of the Western world and many developed countries, many underdeveloped countries as well. Metabolic health is becoming a crisis. And it's mainly due to poor diet, and also sedentary lifestyle really affects it. So we're going to talk about tonight some essential oils, of course, that can be helpful, but also some dietary changes, some simple, easy things that you could do differently in how you eat, some things you could do differently in your lifestyle habits that can also contribute to boosting your metabolism. So it's exciting stuff. Let's jump in and just talk about, first of all, I would love for you to rate yourself. So here again is the handout. This is from the handout. And it just says, on a scale from 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, rate the quality of your life in each of the following areas. So if you don't have the handout and you just want to write this down, just put energy, and then underneath 1 to 10, 1 being I'm always depleted of this. It affects my life every day. This is a real struggle for me. 10 being I have really good energy and this never really bothers me. This never affects my quality of life. And you can do the same with each of these. Weight, is your weight optimal? Would you like to work on it? Maybe it's a 2, maybe it's a 7. Your mood, do you feel like it's fairly level and stable? Do you feel like you have a lot of swings? Do you feel like it's lower than you would like, or lower than maybe it was in younger years? How about your sleep, both quality and quantity? Are you getting enough? Is it good sleep when you are sleeping? Do you dream? Do you feel rested when you wake up? Do you get into that REM sleep? Your clarity, mental clarity. Do you have brain fog, or do you think really clearly and have good mental cognition and energy in that regard on a regular basis? So again, just 1 to 10 in each of these areas. And then finally, stress. How is your stress level? And how do you do managing your stress? A lot of us feel like we can't handle stress as well as we get older as we could when we were younger, right? So do you feel like you manage stress really well? Do you feel like you have a lot of stress? Or do you feel like you are not managing it well? Okay, so those are the 6 top areas that are influenced by your metabolic health. So again, if your metabolic health is not optimal, at least a few of these areas are probably affected pretty heavily. And I would love for you to actually circle, or if you're writing notes, just circle it on your notebook. If you have the handout, circle it on the handout. Which of the 3 are the ones you would like to work on the most? So maybe you feel like some of them are above 5. They're pretty good. They're not the lowest, but they're things you would like to improve, things that bother you. Maybe your mental clarity is just not as sharp. It's not really low, but it's not as sharp as you would like it to be. So which ones are the ones you would most like to work on? So just think about that for a minute. 1 to 10, what are these rating in your life? And then circle the top 3 of the 6 that you would most like to work on or most like to improve. And don't rush through this. I'm trying not to rush through it either, but I would also love if you're taking notes to just write this at the top of your handout or your notebook piece of paper. Just write, I am here to change, because I think that's why you showed up. I think that's why you bothered to take the time to be here. And that's what I hope. I want to help you make those changes. And there's a lot of different ways. Like I said, this is not all about just essential oils and the products that I'm going to be talking about, but it's also about lifestyle and habits and prioritizing your own metabolic health. So I want to help you understand metabolic health. And I want you to think about these 6 areas. What if you don't change them? Where is that going to put you in 5 years, 10 years? If you have seen your mental clarity, for example, or your stress level really get worse in the last 5 years, what do you think is going to happen in 5 more years? So think about that, because just from a psychology standpoint for myself, it helps me to think, yeah, I kind of would like to change this, but it's not that bad right now. But if I think about, wait a minute, I'm 45. If I'm feeling these effects now, where will I be at 55? If I'm already feeling sluggish mentally, if I'm already feeling my mood has really dropped in the last 5 years or so, my energy level has really dropped off, where am I going to be in 10 more years if I do absolutely nothing about it? So it's kind of sobering, right? Okay, so let's again talk about metabolic health and the 3 top things I want you to kind of learn about this. So that's where these blanks are on the handout, 1, 2, and 3. But once again, the only 6.8% of the US population has optimal cardiometabolic health. Really crucial to understand that, yeah, it does affect about 93% of us. And good metabolic health really just means your body can digest and absorb nutrients from food with healthy, stable levels of blood sugar, blood fat, and insulin, all 3 of those things. So that's number 1, is digestion and absorption. Those are the 2 first ones that go under number 1, digest and absorb. So fluctuations in these levels are natural. We all have fluctuations every single day in our blood sugar, our insulin that's released. We need that. It's natural. It's a good thing. But it's really important to avoid big spikes and then big drops. Those things contribute unfavorably to long-term health when our blood glucose is spiking up really high and then dropping really low and doing this roller coaster. If you think of it like a car, think of your car engine. If you constantly just drive around slamming on the brake and then punching the accelerator and then slamming on the brake again, we all see people doing that on the interstate, right? So, if you think about driving that way all the time, if you never accelerate slowly, if you never ease onto that brake so you can slow down, and you're always just one or the other, you're going to wear out your engine so much faster. And you're going to cause a lot of unnecessary wear and tear on your vehicle, right? I have a 16-year-old who just got his driver's license, and we're having to remind him of that. Got to treat the car well. You can't be driving around slamming on the brake and slamming on the accelerator all the time. And the same thing is true of our bodies. Our engines, so to speak, are not going to fare well if we are constantly living on glucose spikes and drops. Okay, so number 2 is lifestyle pillars. So these are the top five ways that you can influence your metabolic health for the better. These are things we'll talk a little bit more about as we go along, but healthy eating, daily movement, stress management, healthy connections, and smart supplementation are the top 5 metabolic pillars. So write lifestyle pillars if you have that handout. And so yeah, healthy eating, we know what that means to an extent, but we haven't all been taught how to cater that to our metabolic health specifically. So I want to give you some tips on that later on. Daily movement, this does not mean you have to become a marathon runner or a weightlifter, bodybuilding champion, anything like that. This means walking, stretching, getting some kind of movement every day. We'll talk a little more about how that can influence your metabolic health most effectively. Stress management, making sure that you are dealing with and managing stress, coping with it in a healthy way. Healthy connections. This I kind of probably downplayed in my own life up until recent years. I just didn't think it affected me all that much. But when you have toxic relationships, you have not learned to set good boundaries in your life with relationships, it will keep you up at night, right? It will affect your stress level every single day as you're dealing with the ramifications of that. And it also takes away from what you're able to give to the people who matter the most in your life, the people who are healthy for you to have connection with. The unhealthy ones take away from that. So I've had to learn a lot about boundaries and how that does actually affect my health. And then the last one is smart supplementation. And this just means you're not necessarily buying your vitamins and supplements that you think are good for you from a place that sells the cheapest quality ingredients, completely synthetic, nothing food-based. Your body cannot absorb it. It's not bioavailable. And you're really just wasting your money because you're putting it in and it's going right back out. There are stories about septic tanks and city sewage systems just being filled with these vitamins that never broke down, and how much money has been wasted on that. And we do not want those types of supplements. We want supplements that are actually doing our bodies good. So those are the lifestyle pillars. Number 3 is age. Plain and simple. There is a difference between metabolic age and biological age. And we all know people who look older than they are, and we know people who look younger than they are, right? So there is a difference, because as you age, your metabolic function ages as well. Your cells are aging as well. And your metabolic health influences your energy, weight, body composition, sleep, and cognitive performance. And all of those things can affect how young you feel and how young you look, right? Or how old, vice versa. So that is the last one, is your age, but it's not just the number of years, it's your metabolic age versus your biological age, and how you can actually reverse signs of aging in your body by nourishing your cells, helping your cells live to be optimal and have that optimal cellular energy going on in your body. So that, again, it's not just about looking younger, it's about your body actually functioning at a level that you were used to when you were younger, in some of those top 6 areas we talked about. All right, so it is about looking, but also just feeling better. And there is this system that doTERRA came out with recently. So I will talk about that, and then I'll talk about diet and lifestyle and things too that you can do, changes in those areas. But this is all about metabolic health. It's helping people shed excess weight, manage stress, have better mental clarity. It does support healthy energy levels and blood sugar responses. It curbs cravings. People are seeing and feeling a difference with skin elasticity and firmness, healthy hair, skin, and nails, as well as bones and joints, lean muscle and connective tissue, promotes healthy biological aging, and improves health span. And what we mean by that term health span is just that there is a trend, especially here in our country. These are the numbers I've studied personally. I know it's happening in other places as well, but we are living longer because of medical advances. And the sad thing about that is, on average, about the last 8 years of people's lives are not good quality. They might be in nursing homes or have really limited mobility. And so they might be living longer, but not actually having a quality of life that matches their years. And that's what health span is referring to. It's different from lifespan. It's actually having your health span match your number of years so that you can have vitality to whatever day it is that the good Lord has appointed to be your last day here on earth. And if you live into old age, that you would not experience all of those processes of disease that can make you unable to enjoy life. Okay, so this line is, just so you know, if you have allergies, free of soy, nuts, shellfish, pesticides, gluten, dairy, artificial sweeteners and flavors, GMOs, carrageenan, glyphosate, and preservatives. So that's good news, right? All right, the next section on the handout. So this is going to show you 3 ways to dramatically improve your metabolic health. And the first one is to curb cravings. That is a huge one, right? As we get older, we have cravings, whether it's for sweet stuff or salty stuff or things that we know we really shouldn't be eating too much of. And we have those cravings, or we know really it's not great for our metabolic health to eat after a certain time of night, after dinner, after 6 or 7 p.m., that we shouldn't be eating the rest of the evening because our blood sugar is winding down. It's at that point of the night, we need to be allowing that process to happen so we can go to sleep better, but we get snacky, right? So we have those cravings. And so the first product is the Metabolic Essential Oil Blend. It's called MetaPower. And this is available in 4 different forms. It's available as the blend itself in a 15 milliliter bottle, as beadlets, which each have about 1/4 of a drop gum, which each piece of gum has 1 drop of the oil, and soft gels. And what this does, what this blend is specially formulated to do, is inhibit fat cell growth and curb cravings. So those are the 2 main things that it does: inhibit adipose fat cell maturation, help curb those cravings, support your metabolic health in those ways, and also help support lifestyle changes that you're trying to make to manage your weight and other factors of your metabolic health, but you're just not having success because you've got those cravings, and our fat cells are asking for more, asking us to feed them. And this actually inhibits the fat cell growth, which is fantastic. So a little bit more about those, what it includes: grapefruit, which curbs appetite, sugar cravings, supports healthy metabolism; lemon aids in digestion and is a very gentle detoxifier; peppermint curbs the appetite and reduces cravings; ginger boosts the metabolism and promotes fat burning processes in the body, which is fantastic; and cinnamon promotes healthy blood sugar levels. So if you have a craving, you can choose from any of these 4 products, whichever one you prefer. Now, they're not available at the time I'm recording this. We're close to the end of October, but these products aren't available individually yet. They will be on November 1st. Right now, they're just part of a kit, part of a set. If you are trying to manage your weight, you can, before meals, take either one of the soft gels, which the soft gels have 2 drops, and you can take it up to 3 times daily, or you can add 3 drops of oil to water, to a veggie capsule, if you prefer not to taste it. I actually really like the taste. These oils blend together really well. And we used to have a blend, some of you may be familiar with it. It was called Slim and Sassy. Same 5 oils, different ratio. And what we learned about this when we went to Utah for a convention last month was that they took it back to the drawing board, reformulated, came up with a better formulation and ratio of these oils so that it works much better. And what used to take about 25 drops a day of Slim and Sassy now is affected, and you get the same result with only about 6 drops a day. So it's really fantastic. A lot of people just couldn't remember or couldn't handle taking 25 drops a day of Slim and Sassy. Now we can get the same effect with 6 drops. And so it's doing all these things, helping curb the appetite and the sugar cravings, supporting our metabolism and blood sugar and fat burning processes, keeping new fat cells that we get from growing to full maturation. And so it's actually detoxifying our fat cells as well, which is all great. So that's what the blend itself does, the oil blend. And you can, again, take it in any 4 of those ways, or you can take it in all of those ways. I like to drink it in my water. I like to put it in our collagen supplement as well. Drop of the oil. I have the beadlets in my purse, so I can pop those when I'm out and about if I get a craving, or the gum, same kind of thing. The soft gels I've been taking a couple times a day with meals. So that is some of the ways you can take those. So curbing cravings is number 1. Second is balancing blood sugar. This is really important because, again, of those post-meal glucose spikes, which tend to get worse for most people throughout the day. It's usually not too bad after breakfast, a little bit worse, or maybe a lot worse after lunch if we're eating 3 times a day, and really high after dinner. Our ability to regulate our own blood sugar decreases throughout the day. Our insulin responses, our blood sugar responses, and insulin resistance tends to get worse throughout the day. And so supporting healthy blood sugar responses is really important. And it also makes a huge difference in both our appetite control and stabilizing our energy levels throughout the day. So the Assist is what this is called. It's all part of the MetaPower system, but Assist is specifically the supplement. It's a little pill that helps with healthy blood sugar. It smooths out those blood sugar levels from the spikes and dips that we have typically after meals. It actually slows down how we are digesting our complex carbs and makes that last longer, so we don't get hungry again as soon, so that our metabolism is actually able to slow down with specific carbs and things that we're eating, so that we're not craving things again too soon when we really shouldn't be, when we don't need to eat. And this is what friends of mine are telling me that they're experiencing too, that they're like, why am I not as hungry? I usually am really snacky after dinner. I'm usually able to finish all my dinner, and if someone offers me dessert, I'm finishing all of that too. No self-control. But now it's like I can't finish all my dinner and the dessert doesn't even sound good. What is happening in my body? This is the thing that is affecting that. So it slows the digestion of carbohydrates for more sustained energy levels. That's a huge benefit we're seeing is much better energy, because when your body goes through those glucose spikes and drops, it depletes your energy big time. So a lot of you can feel it, right? And I know my husband's one of those, he can really feel it. And a lot of us are like, I got to take a nap after a big meal, right? Because maybe we have a little more energy for a while and then it drops off. So the Metabolic Assist features mulberry leaf extract, and also it's not listed here, but it is at the bottom, berberines. These are things that have been shown to reduce post-meal blood sugar spikes by 42% in studies when you take it with your meal. But if you take it 15 to 30 minutes before your largest meal of the day, it will reduce that even more. So mulberry leaf extract, berberine, cinnamon bark powder, and the metabolic blend of oils is also included in this. And if you forget to take it 15 to 30 minutes before your meal, no big deal. Go ahead and take it with your food. It's still going to reduce your post-meal blood sugar spike if you take it with your food. Okay, but if you give it a chance to start working before you eat, even better. It's fantastic. All right, and then the third way that you can improve your metabolic health is by adding collagen and NAD+. So that's what goes in block 3 if you're writing these notes, collagen and NAD+. And this will actually help promote healthy biological aging. So again, that look better, feel better factor, improves cognitive function, supports lean muscle and connective tissue, and improves skin elasticity and firmness. So we're talking about vibrant living here with this collagen, and it's not just those 2 ingredients, but 2 active ingredients here, collagen and NMN and NAD+. We'll talk a little bit more about that. I won't get too deep into the science. Those of you who want to, I will give you resources for that. But basically what the 12 ingredients in this product do affect healthy weight and body composition, help your skin elasticity, your mental clarity and cognitive function, your energy levels, supports those bones, lean muscle, connective tissues, joints, right? Healthy hair, skin, and nails. And then it gives you the antioxidants and immunity benefits that we are all looking for, boosting our immune system. That is something else that's affected. It wasn't listed in those top 6, but immune system depletion also happens with age. So the MetaPower Advantage, if that's what this is called, the Advantage product, contains marine collagen. I'll show you where those are from. NMN, that's nicotinamide mononucleotide, and 10 other active ingredients, including resveratrol, liposomal vitamin C, and biotin. And NMN is a key ingredient here that I really enjoyed learning more about. It supports natural production of NAD+ in your body, and that is an essential coenzyme that helps slow down the signs of aging, both inside and out. But it's not just about like anti-aging, it's actually about helping your cells be healthier and have their optimal health for the longest amount of time possible. So how you use this is take 1 packet a day, add it to 5 to 8 ounces of water, mix vigorously. I have a little electric whisk I like to use to really mix it up well. You can do a blender bottle or a blender, a frother. Those can really help before drinking. I also really like to add 1 drop of the MetaPower oil blend. Some people like to add a splash of orange juice or lemonade or put it in a smoothie. I'm hearing lots of different tips on this. Some people like it with sparkling mineral water instead of just plain water. So you can kind of experiment with it. You just don't want to put it in anything hot. It really shouldn't go into like hot tea. The active ingredients don't always fare well if they're heated up too much. So you've probably heard a lot about collagen, but a lot of it has probably been wrong. I know that was true for me. I was surprised as I started learning more about this, that I was already taking a collagen supplement. And there was an independent lab that did a study and a test of the top collagens in the country, the top selling ones, about 25 of them or so. All of them, every single one had glyphosate. Most of them were from chicken and bovine sources, and they were all laced with glyphosate. It's really hard to keep that out and to get it out. So Roundup, because it's used on everything that they're eating, right? And so that was really eye-opening to me, because that has tremendous impact on our endocrine system and our hormonal balance. And that's not something I want to be putting more into my body than I'm already influenced by just from environment and other food sources and things. So a lot of what's out there about the best collagen is just good marketing. And so the highlights of the Advantage, first, it's 12 times more absorbable or bioavailable than other collagen products. There's 9 unique collagen types. I'll show you what those are on the next slide. But basically what it means is your body can actually absorb and use this collagen And the number of grams you read on a label is not what determines how much collagen your cells actually receive when you take it. So bioavailability is a huge factor. That means if you were to take a regular collagen bottle like you might find on Amazon or something like that, and you compare the milligram levels, you will absorb approximately 12 times more into your cells with the Advantage, the MetaPower product, than you would from that Amazon product. For the most part, that's true with almost all of the collagens out there. A lot of collagens also only feature one or two collagen tripeptide types. Tripeptide is important because that's the type that we can absorb the most. And a MetaPower Advantage contains 9 of those. So also, usually there's only one or two types of collagen present, and they're mostly relevant to skin beauty, elasticity, wrinkles, all that's great, right? But that's what people focus on because that's what you see the difference in people's faces with and in their skin, and that's what people are looking for. They want to see that result. So a lot of the collagens out there, that's all they focus on, is basically the cosmetic aspect of it. And we have those types of collagen too in Advantage, but we also have 7 other types. So collagen is the most abundant protein in our body. There are 28 known types. And if we supplement with a wide range of diverse collagen types, that's going to help promote joint mobility, tissue strength, skin elasticity is included in that also. So you get those beauty benefits, and you also can recover faster from a workout. You can get an edge with flexibility in your joints. Don't we all want more flexibility in our joints as we age? You can move with more ease no matter how old you are. So those are some things that are out there about collagen. The last one is that some people say it's better to get a liquid form, and that's actually not true. This is a powder, and it's activated by you. So it's hydrolyzed powder. That means it's activated by you when you mix it with water. And most of those prepackaged collagens that are liquid already, they use a sterilization process. So it's a water-based delivery system, but they have to sterilize that. And that eliminates harmful bacteria that could be growing in that liquid, but it also affects the beneficial active ingredients like the vitamins, flavonoids, polyphenols. Those are affected by that sterilization too. So they have less shelf stability. They do have sooner expiration dates, and they also have less active ingredients. So they're shipping that heavy water around the globe, and that's not good for the environment either. But it's also not a benefit to you to be getting those that are already liquid. So Advantage is hydrolyzed powder, more active, more bioavailable delivery system. So you'll just open it up, mix it with water, and you'll get those benefits from it when you take it. So here are the types of collagen that we have, and you'll see the different bodily functions of each of them. So all these different types along the left side of the column and what they do: skin beauty, bone protection, malleable dermis, epidermis, stabilizing the structure of the collagen, muscle function, cell membranes, inhibiting cell apoptosis and oxidative stress, cartilage, growth plates, joints, discs. That's important for all of us, right? As we age, those vertebrae, those discs, and normal brain aging. So good, again, the mental clarity, and it's involved in the cell growth and differentiation. So you can look up those different types if you're interested, but it's sourced from sustainably harvested cold water marine fish in Italy. Again, no shellfish for those who are concerned about fish allergies. And so that's the sources of this. And let me show you the other ingredients. So that's the collagen. That's just one of the 12 ingredients. There are a lot of fantastic ingredients in this. You'll recognize some of them for their high antioxidant level, like red orange fruit extract, liposomal vitamin C, rose apple fruit extract, sea buckthorn fruit extract. And then you'll see that NMN and NADH, these are known for increasing NAD plus in the body. Look that up if you don't know about NAD plus. It is fascinating what that can do to help reverse aging inside your body. Also, the hyaluronic acid promotes healthier, more supple skin. The resveratrol, I got to slow my words down. Resveratrol is known for increasing NAD plus in the body as well. So you can see all those active ingredients, what they do. There are a lot related to healthy skin, bones, hair, joints, but also the mental clarity, the energy factors, these things that tend to break down as we get older because of our collagen intake, but also production in our bodies. And then the biotin is healthy utilization of fats, carbs, and amino acids. So those are the 12 ingredients, synergistic ingredients. And a little interesting comparison here, if you were to go out and try to buy each of these ingredients separately from Amazon, you'd have to spend over $300 just to get some of the ingredients, not all of them, just some of them. And our collagen is $84.50 to get a 30-day supply in the Advantage product. So it's a $314 value if you do that cost comparison with those individual supplements that have similar active ingredient dosage. They may vary, of course, in their source, their concentration, their bioavailability, whether they're actually absorbing into your body, we're not saying, but that's just the average cost out there for some of these ingredients. So to take a little bit closer look at it, you can see what that value is, and it's really impressive. So for a couple dollars and some change a day, so less than a latte, right? You can really be doing some amazing things for your body, and you're not going to break your budget. These powerhouse ingredients all in one product simplifies your routine and saves you money. So how you would use those: the oil blend, again, take a few drops in your water, take those others as needed if you have cravings throughout the day. You can also diffuse. It's really a great smell for uplifting atmosphere. The assist, you're going to take 15 to 30 minutes before your biggest meal of the day, or whatever meal you're eating with the most carbs. So if you're really carb heavy on a meal and I'm probably having a salad for dinner, but for lunch, I'm having all this bread, then you would do it before lunch. So I am keeping some in my purse and on my dining room table just to kind of remind me the places where I'm going to eat if I'm out, that I've got some with me. Some people are doing what we call being super users. They're taking 2. If they're really noticing that they have a lot of issues with their blood glucose, for example, they might take 2 before their heaviest meal instead of just 1, or they might take 1 with lunch and 1 with dinner. So you will see you can take that. Actually, it says up to 6 a day. Most people are just doing 1 a day, but if you're wanting to see faster results or better results, maybe even temporarily until you meet a goal that you're trying to reach, you could do that. Same with the Advantage. You can take 2 or 3 packets of it a day, but it's meant to just take 1 a day in 5 to 8 ounces of cold water. And just a side tip here, when you add our #1 product, the Lifelong Vitality Supplements, these have your multivitamins, minerals, fish oil, essential oils, anti-inflammatory herbs, and food-based polyphenol ingredients. Add that to your regimen, you're going to maximize your results. These are meant to work synergistically together. MetaPower does not replace your vitamins, minerals, fatty acids, the other things that you need to be getting into your diet on a regular basis. So just keep that in mind as well, that they are meant to work together, because nutrition and metabolic support really go hand in hand. Good nutrition is key to your metabolic health, because again, it means your body can digest and absorb nutrients from your food, but most of us have gaps in what we're getting from our food. We are not getting optimal nutrients from our food. And so we want to make sure we're doing that as well. This could be, you could mix the Advantage with the greens powder. That's an option if you're not getting enough fruits and vegetables in your diet. Also, again, the LLV Lifelong Vitality Pack has that optimal balance of the vitamins, minerals, other ingredients that your body needs to function optimally, and things that will fill in those gaps for the typical SAD, standard American diet, those nutrients that most of us tend to be lacking. So here's a daily schedule for the super user, for example. So you could have that Advantage with water and your LLV in the morning. You could be diffusing something like Balance to get your day started well, help reduce stress throughout the day. Take a soft gel with your meal. You can use the Assist with lunch. Take another Advantage if you wanted to, if you need an afternoon pick-me-up. You have that gum in the afternoon to curb cravings, the oil, gum, and beadlets whenever cravings hit throughout the day. And then the Assist again before dinner, and the soft gel with the oil, the 2 drops of oil in it, with your second dose of LLV for the day and dinner, and some kind of calming oil on the soles of your feet and your diffuser, something like lavender, serenity at bedtime. This is, again, just an example schedule for what that might look like in your life. So I've taken the Advantage different ways. I've taken it first thing in the morning, and I've taken it in the afternoon. So that's been just depending on my energy and what I've got going on for the day, how much sleep I got that night. I've been finding I like it best in the afternoon. I typically do sleep well and have good energy in the morning. It's as the day goes on, early to mid-afternoon, that I start having an energy slump, and I do feel this gives me sustained energy taking the collagen. So that's been what I've been doing. A lot of people do it first thing in the morning, so you can kind of see, what works best for you. Next, though, I want to share some results from my best friend, my best childhood friend. Since we were 4 years old, we've been friends. And she has been sharing some of her results on Facebook. And I just wanted you to see what it looks like, because she decided to invest in a continual glucose monitor so she could actually monitor her blood glucose 24/7 for 30 days. And she did a full week before starting the MetaPower so that she would have some data to compare. And it has been pretty mind-blowing. Okay, so 8 days without MetaPower is what she started with. And then you can see she had 8 days with MetaPower. So those bars represent how many times she spiked up. We can see over 200 up to 300 without MetaPower. That happened 4 times. And then the next 8 days with MetaPower, she only got up over 200 one time. And you can see it's much more level. But let's look at some other results that she had here. So these are just sample days in the life without MetaPower. On the top right 2 boxes, she was having a lot of up and down, a lot of roller coaster effect, right? And then when she started taking MetaPower, she was not getting into that pink zone. That's the spike zone. That's I believe it's over 200, or it might even be a little bit lower. That's the threshold number for what's considered a spike. And so you can see that she had a lot of those. And then a couple sample days after she started MetaPower, she still spiked up in the evening, but not nearly as high. And you can see that her total number of spikes was 4, and then 2, and then 1 on these sample days. That's the bottom number on the left. And how many hours or how much time that she spent spiking throughout the day greatly reduced. Her average glucose went from 119 down to 97 on those 2 middle graph pictures there. So you can see the average on the right was 116, and then on the bottom was 105. So that's significant difference, but let's continue seeing her trends here. She had a 62% reduction in high glucose events over the 30 days. And that is tremendous. I told you the assist by itself can help about 42% if you take it with meals. That's what the studies have shown. But she took it 15 to 30 minutes before meals, and she also did the Advantage and the oil blend throughout the day. So she saw a 62% reduction in high glucose, or what we call spike events. When she started MetaPower, you can see, and it just continued to decrease. So as soon as she started MetaPower, she had way fewer spikes throughout those weeks. The 4 weeks are what's represented here. But it just continued to go down, week 3, week 4. Now, I'll tell you something about Tanya, is her name. She purposely did not change her lifestyle. She did not change her eating habits. She did not change her exercise habits, because she wanted to see what just using the product alone would do. Now, she has shared she did have more energy, so she was able to walk longer and that type of thing. But that was probably, halfway through that she started realizing, hey, I feel like taking an extra lap around the block type of thing when she was doing her walk. And so that is what she saw over 4 weeks, and she's so excited to see how it continues. And just one more graph kind of number just to show no MetaPower this first week, 5 hours, 20 minutes that she spiked throughout the day, 4 spikes throughout the day. September 29th, after being on MetaPower for 1 week, she still was spiking about 1 hour, 14 minutes and had 3 spikes throughout the day, greatly reduced. But 3.5 weeks, she said she felt like she hit this sweet spot. 3.5 weeks in, she couldn't believe it. She had no spikes, and she did not have the glucose monitor more than the 30 days, but she continued to see this for the last several days that she had the glucose monitor. She had no spikes anymore. It was like the ingredients got into her system. Her body got used to the new normal, and she stopped having glucose spikes. That is tremendous. This was her results after 30 days. She lost almost 10 pounds and a lot of inches. Her clothes were not fitting right. She had way more energy. She was exercising longer. I didn't put this picture in here, but she also saw a big difference in some wrinkles on her chest and neck, and her forehead, some clarity around her eyes with dark circles. some elasticity difference in her jaw area, her like a jowl type area, and firmness in her skin. So you can't see that in this, but you can see the tremendous result 30 days in. So that's very exciting. And now that she's been doing that and she had the glucose monitor to make sure she was getting results that she wanted, she is actually adding in some of the tips I'm going to show you next about how to support your blood glucose levels just by things you can do naturally with your diet. So she's starting to do these things, and I am as well. This comes from a lady who calls herself the Glucose Goddess. She has written a book called Glucose Revolution. It's fantastic. I'm reading it now. And one of the first things she talks about is put some clothes on your carbs. So if you are eating carbs on their own, things like bread, corn, couscous, you can see the whole list there, ice cream, anything sweet, you need to combine them with fiber. She's not saying don't ever eat those things again, okay? That's probably not realistic for any of us, but she's saying put some clothes on them, and that's a phrase that has stuck with me. Combine them with fiber, fat, and or protein. Any vegetable, avocado, beans, butter, cheese, cream, eggs, fish, Greek yogurt, meat, nuts, seeds, something. Combine them and you will have a smaller glucose spike. Isn't that a simple thing to do? So if you do that, you will not have some of the crash that you might be feeling, and that we can see from blood glucose monitors that people have 2 hours after eating. You'll have less insulin release, which also means reduced inflammation. These are things that happen when you are supporting your metabolism, reduced inflammation, steadier mood, better skin, happier organs, happier heart, reduced type 2 diabetes risk. Simple thing, don't eat carbs and sweets on their own. Put some clothes on them. Key takeaways that I've gotten from her book: the food we eat has an impact on our social decision-making by altering neurotransmitters and glucose levels in our bodies. So we make poorer decisions when our blood glucose is spiking and dropping. If we add some protein to our meals, we will improve our mood and have steadier glucose levels. Go savory for breakfast. That is the best way to start the day. Do not have sweets. It starts off your whole day on the wrong foot, and it's hard to recover from. Okay, that if you really like this stuff, you got to get her book, but I'll share a handful more things from her. The science behind vinegar and glucose. Vinegar slows down how quickly starches break down to glucose during digestion. It tells your body to burn more fat, tells our muscles to soak up the glucose as it arrives in the bloodstream. And there are studies showing that adding vinegar to our diet leads to weight loss, steadier glucose levels. And there's even a small study showing that it helps reverse PCOS symptoms. Huge, right? Here's some ways you can use vinegar to flatten your glucose curve. Mix a tablespoon of it into a glass of water. Drink it with a straw because you don't want to break down the enamel on your teeth. So that's important. If you're drinking vinegar every day, it can affect your teeth. So do it with a straw 1 to 10 minutes before your meals. And it can be any kind of vinegar. Most of us would probably say apple cider vinegar is our favorite if we're just going to drink it, but it can actually be any kind if you like red wine vinegar or just plain white vinegar. But the gummies don't work. So don't take vinegar gummies. It does not work the same as drinking it. Some people will have it before every meal, others just when they eat something sweet, totally up to you. You can also add vinegar to your salad dressings. It's an easy thing to do. And if you're going to have a starch, if you're going to have a carb, she says, add some vinegar to it. This is maybe why it started. I don't know, that people like to put vinegar on fries. I mean, if you're going to have fries, maybe throw some vinegar on there, right? She has some really interesting results from blood glucose monitors on her Instagram as well. And she showed how 1 tablespoon of lemon juice in water really helps reduce your blood glucose spike when having carbs afterward as well. So not as much as vinegar. It's not as effective as vinegar, but if you can't handle the vinegar or you just don't have any and you have access to lemon juice, that actually works to flatten out glucose curves as well. Not as powerful as vinegar, but again, another option is lemon juice. Something else I found really interesting, glucose and skin are closely linked. So a lot of people with blood glucose issues have skin issues. The more glucose spikes that you have in your diet, the higher amount of inflammation. And that's going to make things like acne, rosacea, and psoriasis worse. Glucose and fructose spikes increase a process called glycation, and that leads to the development of wrinkles as well. So there is an effect on our skin. Another experiment she did was having beans and salad before having rice. So again, just putting some clothes on that carb, some vegetables, some protein, and the huge difference it made. She showed another graph that showed a huge spike when just having rice by itself versus having the beans and salad first. So she just made some suggestions. If you're gonna have like a cappuccino and avocado toast, you go out for breakfast, let's say, if you have the cappuccino first and then the avocado toast 30 minutes later, you have a much bigger spike. If you have that avocado toast first, that good fat, that healthy protein, maybe some whole grains there, and then you have that cappuccino 30 minutes later, much more level. So just super interesting tips on her site, on her Instagram. She also has a website. She has the book. And then the last thing I'll share from her, these are her top 10 hacks for steady blood sugar and steady hormones. Eat your veggies first. Always eat your salad or your vegetables before anything else on your plate. Then eat your protein and fats. And then you can kind of think of like your starches and your sugars, if you're having them, as your reward for eating your veggies first, your proteins and fats second. Have those starches and sugars last. You will do your body such a huge favor. Also, eat a savory breakfast, not a sweet one. Only have whole fruits, never juiced or dried. I know this is controversial. I love cold pressed juices. It's a treat for me. But I also know when you have that without the fiber from that fruit, it goes to blood glucose much faster. If you have a whole fruit with all of that good fiber that's in there, instead of having dried, which is basically like candy. If you're going to have dried fruit, you might as well eat candy. I know it's painful to hear that, but again, there's ways you can have those things, but just put some clothes on it, right? Think of juices and dried fruits as a carb, as a sugar, instead of as a healthy whole food. And that will help you remember, oh, I should have some nuts with that. I should have a salad first, that kind of thing. Eat sweets at the end of your meal instead of on their own. Never eat them on their own as a snack. Always eat them at the end of a meal. It's going to do wonders for your blood glucose levels. This also, go for a 10-minute walk after lunch and after dinner. Huge difference from that. My friend who wore the glucose monitor, it would remind her to say, looks like you're heading into a spike. Maybe you should go take a quick walk. So toward the end of her 30-day experiment, she started doing that and she started seeing that make a difference as well. So if you have 10 or 15 minutes to take a walk after you eat a heavy meal, it is going to help your metabolism tremendously. I even heard a coach talking about this, saying if you have 30 minutes to exercise total in a day, it's good to get your heart rate up. It's great if you can get that 30 minutes all in at once. But if you can't, even splitting it up into 10 or 15 minutes after your largest meals, that's actually going to do more for your blood glucose than it would be to say get up first thing in the morning and work out for 30 minutes. You're going to do your body better as far as metabolism is concerned by doing that 10 or 15 minute walk after lunch and another 10 or 15 minute walk after dinner, rather than being sedentary after your heaviest meals and getting your workout in really early in the morning when your blood glucose is typically at its lowest right after you've slept, okay? After you've fasted. All right, so before eating, drink that tablespoon of apple cider vinegar diluted in a glass of water if you can handle it, and you might even learn to like it. All right, so those are some of the top hacks I wanted to share with you. I'm going to wrap this up, but get back to the MetaPower system here. So just a recap, step one is that oil blend. It comes in 4 different methods of taking it. You can add it throughout the day. The assist is for before your meals or with your meals to reduce the blood sugar spike. And the advantage is whatever time of day you prefer it for sustained energy and all of those benefits for skin, hair, bones, joints, nails, energy levels, reversing aging in your body with the NMN and NAD plus ingredients. So you'll just dissolve that in water and have that once a day. And so a sample schedule here, there are several of these online, and we have a great Facebook group with this. If it's something you want to know more about how different people are taking it, this is just an example of how a lot of people are doing that. I won't go through that. You can check that out in our Facebook group, or I'll show you where else you can get some great resources. All right, so this is if you really do want some of the science, some of the studies, scan this QR code or go to training.doterra.com/P/metapower. And that will give you a free teachable course where you can learn a ton more. You can see some clinical results and you can learn more about the ingredients and The science way better than I could ever teach it. There's doctors and research scientists who share in videos, and you can scan that QR code or go to that link. So to sum this up, what I am excited about is that it's helping people to hope and dream again. And I've been seeing this for about 6 weeks since it was released, that people are realizing things that they didn't think was possible again, to feel 10 years, 15 years, 20 years younger, to start to even look it on the outside. I have had people who've seen me recently say, wow, what are you doing to your skin? Did you change your makeup or something? You're glowing, your skin looks younger. And I have been taken aback by that. I've said, nope, same makeup, same me. Actually, I'm wearing even less makeup now than I normally would on a Zoom, because I just didn't have time today. And it's been surprising. I am feeling way more energy, and people are even saying they can hear it in my voice. Maybe you feel that way too if you know me. I do. I feel more energy. This time of night, normally I would be dragging, and it's hard for me to do a Zoom in the evening, because sometimes I would even have a little more caffeine just to help me get through a class or something like that. So I've definitely seen a difference in my energy, my mental clarity. I am thinking so much more clearly. I was starting to have issues with remembering words and just having that recall. Like, this is kind of scary. I'm 45 years old. I'm having issues with recalling words, especially as it gets later in the day and mid-afternoon and the evening. I'm having trouble remembering things. That's not been happening. I've been on MetaPower for about 6 weeks. So those are the kind of differences I'm seeing. I did not need to lose weight, and I'm not losing weight. Kind of interesting. Kind of laughed about it. Like, I can be the spokesperson for people who don't need to lose weight and don't necessarily want to, because I'm not. Like, my body knows it's at its optimal weight, and I don't necessarily need to lose any weight. So I'm not losing any weight, even though I'm doing the same things that other people who are losing 10 pounds in 30 days are doing. So it has been interesting, but I hope that this is helping you hope as well. I would love to hear how it's helping you hope. What is it that you're hoping for? What is your goal? Make it really personal. And if you're not comfortable sharing in the chat, that's okay. Text me if you've got my number, Facebook message me. I want to know what your goal is. And I want to know what this is helping you to dream about, how you might be able to change your life and even maybe others' lives in your family or amongst your friends and colleagues. And if you have been using MetaPower already, chat in any results you're seeing so far. I would love to read those once I stop screen sharing, because I can't read them while I'm screen sharing. Okay, so the ways that you can get started with this. Number one, there's 3 ways to purchase. Number one is retail. It's the most expensive way. Typically, you'd only pay retail if you were buying doTERRA in a professional setting like a spa or a chiropractor's office or a doctor's office. There are places that sell it at retail like that. Number 2 is wholesale. This is the best products for the best price. It's kind of like having a Costco or Sam's membership. You pay an annual fee and you get 25% off retail. By the way, that's a lot better discount than I get at Costco, but I digress. So 25% off. There is an annual membership fee. It's $25. And when you renew each year, you get a free bottle of peppermint oil. So it's really cost effective. It cancels each other out, the membership fee and the free bottle of peppermint. 3, you can get the products below wholesale. This is the only way I purchase, because I like deep savings below the wholesale prices. And that is when you start with the kit, you get a much bigger discount. And you can also get it on a monthly order. If you haven't gotten a membership yet, this will waive your membership fee when you start with the kit for your first year. If you already have a membership, you'll want to get below wholesale by ordering it on a monthly order, and then you get points back for free products. So also think about your goal. Are you just wanting to live healthier for yourself? That's awesome. If so, we will support you on that. But there's 3 different kinds of people. The second type of person wants to share, maybe because they just love sharing and are passionate and want to help others, maybe because they need a way to get their products paid for in order to fit it into their budget. Those are both great reasons to share, and we can help you do that. The third kind of person wants to build to earn an income and make an impact. And that's what I have been doing for 9 years. And it has been such a fun journey. It's an amazing company. We have amazing colleagues that we work with. I love our team so much. And we just have so much fun. And it really has made a huge difference in my life and in the lives of so many people all around the world, and so many of my friends and family as well. All right, so the whole kit is $179. Again, if you don't have a membership yet, you'll get a free membership with that. So you'll have a 1-year wholesale membership if you start with that. You can also set up your first monthly subscription order when you place your first order, and you'll earn 10% back in points toward free products in the future on both your first order and your next month's order if you sign up to do that as soon as you get your wholesale membership. So again, kit $179, wholesale, the whole kit is available now, started on October 1st. Individual items are not available until November 1st. How to save even more. If you purchase the Lifelong Vitality Pack or the MetaPower Advantage Collagen, then you can add on up to 3 additional supplements at reduced prices. So you could add on individual LLV items. You could add on your Deep Blue polyphenols that are amazing for aches and pains and those types of issues, your digestive enzymes, your probiotics, the MetaPower Assist and beadlets are one of the options. Another package of Advantage for those super users or people who have more than one person in their household taking the collagen. So that's how you can save even more. Huge, huge savings with the monthly order option. There's also one more way to get started with all these products, and that is the convention kit. This is available through November. It's $250. It includes all of the new MetaPower products, plus all of the new essential oils, hand sanitizers, shampoo and conditioner, bars, Supermint products, Spanish sage, eucalyptus, guaiac wood. These are all included for $250. It's a $333 value. So great savings if you're also interested in the other brand new products that were just released in September at convention. All right, so last but not least, connect with whoever invited you to this. If that was me, if it was someone else, connect with that person. Your wellness advocate will show you the best ways to save, the best ways to purchase, what you best need for your health, and also help keep you accountable. The last thing is, let me give you, sorry, I dropped my piece of paper. I meant to say this. There are some great resources, and I do not have time to share them all. I did not want to keep you too late here. So I want you to write this down. If you don't have my phone number, my 865 number, it is 865-272-2572. Text the word meta, just META, no other words, no other quotes or anything like that, just meta, META, to that phone number. I'll give it to you one more time, 865-272-2572. And that will send you a list of resources. That's it. It won't put you on a text list. You won't get more text from me unless you want to. But that'll give you resources like the link to our Facebook group, where you'll see testimonials and usage tips, and you can ask questions, a link to that course in case you missed that QR code earlier, a link to a 10-minute overview video that's really fantastic, and also a link to a 1-hour video that goes more into the science of the ingredients and things like that. There's an ebook. If you prefer just to scroll and read, you can do the ebook option. There's a few other things I can't even remember. I just put together my favorite resources plus that top list of hacks from the Glucose Goddess lady. I put that in the text as well. So just text Meta to that number and you'll get that back. And then please feel free to ask me questions. Either you can text me or however else you are used to reaching me. Feel free to do that. I'm happy to be an educational resource for you. But if I'm not your wellness advocate, make sure you go back to your wellness advocate to talk about how to order, how to get started on this, any other questions that you have. I'm sure that they can answer. But I hope you'll connect to our community. I know that I can speak for myself as a wellness advocate. I love helping people hope and dream again. And I love helping them just if I need to be their accountability partner, if I need to help give them any other resources or tools, or just cheer them on. I know I need that sometimes in my life. So from time to time, I'm happy to be that person for others. It's exciting to be on journey together through this process. So thank you for taking time to join me tonight. I am going to stop sharing my screen and stop the recording, but if you're still here live and you have questions, I'll be able to see those in the chat. So just give me a second to stop the recording and I'll pop over there and see if there's any questions or comments. Thank you so much for joining me.